Thank you. I want to thank everybody for having me come and speak again tonight. Some of you have seen me more than once, and it's always a big pleasure and an honor for me to come and speak to you. And I want to speak to the parents and the spouses and the siblings and the children of these wonderful students first before I do anything else. The video was wonderful. It's the first time I'd seen it, but it made you think all they did was play and have a party, right? They worked very hard. Cosmetology is one of the most rewarding professions, but it's one of the hardest professions because not only do you physically have to be ready to handle everything that walks through your door, but you have to be mentally ready. It's not just a physical job, it is a mental job. My husband used to tell me a long time ago, I had it easy because all I had to do was work with my hands and take care of people. He had a high-pressure job that required a lot of responsibility, a lot of mental stress. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to show you this is not as easy as you think it is. So I started taking them to hair shows with me. If you want to change the opinion of your family, take them to a hair show. And when they see how hard those platform artists work, how fast they have to move, how quick they have to think. And believe me, mistakes happen on the platform just like they do in your salon, and you have to adjust, and you have to compromise, and you have to think fast. Now he knows it's not just standing up there making them pretty, it's thinking about each person that walks in there and what your responsibility is to them. To not only make them look good, but to make them feel good about what you just did, the choice they just made, and how they're going to feel when they walk out of that salon day in and day out. So it's a very stressful job. So congratulations to all these students for the hard work, but congratulations to the families that stood beside them while they did this work. That's a very, very big job. It's not always a pleasant job because they come home irritable, they come home depressed, they come home moody, and sometimes they come home high as a kite. My other husband's other favorite saying is that we are high on the fumes from our salon. He said, I don't know how y'all are high as kites. It's not the fumes, it's the energy. It's the energy level we get from making people happy and making people look good and making people feel good. That's what we do every day. So thank you to the family. Give them another hand, Susie. I'm going to put on my Cosmetology board hat for a minute. I am the chairman of the Cosmetology board. I served on the Cosmetology board for 9 years, and when our current governor came on, he decided to make some changes. So he took everybody except for one of the former board members off the board and replaced them by all new people. Well, it didn't take too long to realize that wasn't a real good idea. Not only do you need to know the profession, but you need to know the law that governs the profession. And if you don't know the law, you can't govern. And if you don't know the people and you don't have compassion for their problems when they walk into your board meeting, you can't govern. So I was very pleased when 5 months ago he called me up and said, would you consider going back on the board? And I said, sure. I've been off of it for 2.5 years. I was very pleased this past month when our board had to vote for a new chairman, and all of those board members, with the exception of one that did not know me, voted for me to be their chairman. So that made me feel really good. I'm not sure whether they were doing it to get away from them doing the job, or whether they really thought I had the ability to do it. But I do love doing it. And I want to talk to you just a little bit about what State Board is. Our job is to protect the consumers. Your license is to protect the consumers. It's not just because somebody said government's going to rule you, government's going to take care of you. It's to protect the consumers. But guess what? You're a consumer also. We protect you from your client. Because believe me, every single week I get some letter from the State Board saying somebody is suing somebody for something that happened in their salon. Just recently I got one where a lady said, she sat down in the chair and rolled out from under her. What was the State Board going to do about it? Well, we don't govern the kind of chairs you use in your salon for your nail people, but there's nothing we can do. That's between her and the salon owner. Now, if she called me and she said, I got an infection in my toes or my fingers from the salon, what are you going to do about it? Then I have something to do about it. It's my job to find out why, to make sure that there was nothing wrong in that salon that caused that person to get that infection. So that's what we do. We protect the consumers, but we protect you too from the consumers that want to sue you, plain and simple. So when that state board inspector walks into your salon, don't be afraid of them. They're there to help you, not to hurt you. When I was on the board a few years ago, I got this telephone call, just like we all do, the state inspectors in town, and it's state inspectors in town. Okay, thank you. Well, a few weeks later, she called me back. She said, I am so sorry. I said, what are you sorry for? She said, I did not know you were the state board. I said, well, first of all, I'm not the state board. I'm the chairman of the state board. There's a whole bunch of other people out there. I'm not the only one. And she said, but I shouldn't have called you and warned you. You knew they were in town. I said, first of all, let me just tell you, they don't tell me when they're coming to town. They inspect my salon just like they inspect your salon. I get no special privileges. I get no special treatment whatsoever. They inspect me just like they do you. Fortunately, even before I was on the state board, I have never in 36 years had a mark against my salon. Knock on wood, because it could happen tomorrow if she walks in the door. The reason for it is because I do what your instructors taught you to do. They taught you to take care of your client. They taught you to take care of your tools. They taught you to take care of yourself. And that's what you need to do. So don't be afraid of them when they come in there. If you have a concern, ask them. If they have a question, don't be afraid to answer them. And if they do check something wrong and you feel like it wasn't valid, then you have a right to contest it. Every single person in here has a right to contest a citation or a fine that they get against them. And if you do contest it, you'll come and see me. And then we'll listen to your story. And more times than not, we work with you. Unless you're really, really bad. So don't be really, really bad, because I don't want to have to get you in trouble. But don't be afraid of our state inspectors. Welcome into your door. Show them where your rooms are. Show them your licenses. Be the person you're supposed to be. Be the professional that you're proud of today. Because let me just tell you, there are a lot of them out there that are not professionals. And they're the ones that make us look bad. So I want all of you guys to be the professionals. The profession you have entered into today is a very important profession. It carries with it a lot of responsibility. As one of your speakers said, you touch people every day. There are only two professions in this United States that are licensed to touch another human being. The people in the medical field and you. That says a lot. You are licensed to touch another human being. Teachers aren't licensed to do that. Cab drivers aren't licensed to do that. Nobody else is licensed but you. And that's why you have to be very careful of your sanitation, and that's why you have a state board. But along with that responsibility to be able to touch a human being comes a lot. It comes, you become a part of their family. They become a part of your family. You go through the births, you go through the weddings, and then some more births. You go through the funerals, unfortunately. You go through the divorces. You go through everything they go through, you know about it, and you're a part of it. And you can cry with them, and you can laugh with them, and you can be their best friend. But you always have to be mindful of the fact that you're responsible for them when it comes to your salon. You're responsible for your education. You're responsible for continuing your education. This is just beginning. So don't stop here. Continue to grow. For those of you that have not taken your state board exams yet, don't be afraid. When you get to the exam site, if you forgot something, improvise. Move on. I've been in exams where the mannequin hold a rope, put it between your knees. I've been in there where they didn't have a water bottle. We'll go get a bottle of water and pour on them. Improvise. Don't let it throw you. One little simple thing like that can throw you off and cause you to maybe fail your exam. You're smart people. Don't let those things throw you. Smile. Don't be afraid of the examiners. They have a job to do. You have a job to do. Your job is to pass the exam. Theirs is to make sure you pass it right. So don't be scared of me. I want to tell you a little bit story about when I took my cosmetology exam, which was longer ago than most of you have been born. It was almost 37 years ago. And we took it in Atlanta, downtown, 2 blocks from the Capitol, in an old building that was horrendous. And if you weren't there and you weren't inside that door at 8 o'clock, the door's locked. You did not get to take your exams. You had to reschedule it for another time. So it was kind of scary. You had to bring a live model. Thank God for mothers. Your mother will always be your best friend when you're in cosmetology school. Even when they don't need, and certainly don't want another haircut, they're always willing to sit down in your chair and let you practice one more time so that you can take that test. So I took my mother with me. Well, at that time, you not only had to carry all your kit, but you had to carry a portable hood hairdryer. Okay, so here we waddle into there, and I'm dragging all this stuff, and my mom was saying, did you get everything? Did you remember everything? Did you get something? Did you get this? Did you get that? I got it all. Okay, so we get in there. Your model couldn't talk to you. If your model talked to you, they assumed your model was coaching you. And guess what? You failed. You failed. So my mother is a talker. You know, that's where I got it from. So all through this, she's saying, don't forget to do this. Remember that. And I'm just saying, okay, don't talk to me. And I'm looking around to see if anybody's watching. Fortunately, nobody was watching. And I got through it. I was a nervous wreck, just like everybody in here is or will be when they take their exam. But I'll tell you the one thing that got me through it. I went to cosmetology school and took my exam in the 70s. Remember, guys wore a lot of hair in the 70s. I remember, long hair, longer than mine. This girl that was sitting at a table beside me brought her husband. Her husband was her model. He had this cute little mustache and hair halfway down his back. She had to roll his hair. We had to roll the set and sit them under the dryer to dry while we went and ate our lunch, and then we had to come back and comb it outside. Okay? So when I set my mother down under the dryer, I looked up and I saw this little guy sitting over there with his legs crossed, his hair in rollers, and a mustache. I cracked her. After that, I don't know that I even realized what I did after that. It was just so funny to me. The rest of the day just flew by. Fortunately, I passed my exam. It's a wonder. But so you guys have it a lot easier today. You take a mannequin. The mannequin can't talk. If you drop it on the floor, it's not going to holler. If you pull its hair, it's not going to holler. It's not going to tell you it's too tight, and it's not going to tell you, did you forget something? So be glad you get to take the exam in today's world instead of what we used to have. We had a lot harder exams. Your exam is designed for the needs of what you need to do today. No more finger waves. Listen, if we didn't do anything else but get rid of finger waves, I was so happy to be on the board and accomplish that. Because that was horrendous. It doesn't matter whether you carry a Marcel iron or a clip iron anymore. We don't care. It's whatever you want to use. We had to have Marcel iron. If you didn't have a Marcel iron, you failed that section. So it is easier for you, but don't let it get too easy. Understand the responsibility you have there. Take your exams, be proud, and then I get to sign off on your life. When you get your license. You're welcome. I want to see all of your names there. I want to change and take off my cosmetology state board hat right now and talk about being in the salon and being a professional. And I want to talk about what you need to do from today on. You need to continue your education. Whether this was your first choice profession, your second and your third, it doesn't matter. It will be the last because you won't want to do anything else. This was my third profession, and I would not do anything else. And as I said earlier, you can do anything you want to do from working in a salon, teaching, platform work, work for manufacturers. The sky is the limit, so don't stop. But along with not stopping, you have to keep educating yourself because everything changes. Do you realize that we reproduce your textbooks every 2 years? That textbook is reprinted rewritten, reprinted, and reproduced every 2 to 3 years. So things change. So don't stop learning today. Keep going. I've done a lot of things. I've been platform artist. I've been a national education director. I've been a salon owner, state board member, an educator in continuing education. I taught 5 years at the University of Georgia's continuing education. And I would not give anything for the experiences I've had, and you shouldn't either. So I want you to go forward, keep going, keep growing. Remember, the sky's the limit. Everybody knows, I'm sure everybody knows about who Chris Kyle is. Chris Kyle is the sniper that we knew about. Chris Kyle went into the Navy at the age of 30. While most Navy recruits, most young men going into the military, 18 years old. He was the old man, and he was the one that rode the hardest, but he turned out to be the best at what he did. Your teachers rode you hard so that you can be the best at what you are. And it doesn't matter how old, how young, it doesn't matter male, female, you are the best. Congratulations, and keep going.